Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you may be across the great country of Canada. My name's Tom Roberts. I'm the AV Distribution Manager with Jabra, supporting our distribution channels in Canada and the US as it pertains to our collaboration portfolio. I'm delighted to be with you here today as Ingram Micro has put forth an amazing effort to put forth this virtual event. I know many of us would much rather be together face-to-face as we are oftentimes at these great events. But given the circumstances, this is the best that we can do. I know when we're at the events, we get to spend a lot of time socializing with each other, having face-to-face discussions, and in a format like this, that's very difficult. So it's very paramount that if I pique your interest in anything that I have to say today, that we do have some follow-up conversations afterwards. We've got an amazing team supporting our channels in Canada, and we are here and ready to engage you as you see fit. So what are we going to talk about today? So at Jabra, the last 7 months have been challenging for us, just like every company in the world. But what it's given us the opportunity is to look at our portfolio differently. How can our products play differently in a different world, in a changing landscape? And where I'm really going to focus most of my time today is on education, and also a little bit in the office space and how that landscape is going to be changing once things do begin to open up a little bit more than they already are. First, we're going to focus on education. So remote teaching is challenging to students, and it's challenging to teachers. Depending on what country you're in, there's a mix and a hybrid going on of in-person, face-to-face teaching. There's hybrid, where there's some kids in the classroom and some kids at home. And then there's other spaces where it's completely remote. I know every school district has gone about this with the intentions of having multiple plans in place, and they really need to be agile to be able to react to what is happening in the current world. Go from face-to-face to a hybrid to maybe a remote situation. And you cannot do that if you don't have a proper technology in plan. So our teachers potentially have a lot less face time with our students. And even if they have that face time today, that could change in a matter of hours, days, weeks, right? So what have we heard recently from the marketplace? 88% of teachers are relying on built-in laptop cameras and audio solutions. These features are built into the laptops for convenience. They're not really premium. They don't really give you the best experience and don't give the teachers, students, the ability to feel like they're part of things. 54% of teachers are finding it difficult to keep students' attention when teaching from remote, because it's very difficult for a teacher who's used to freely walking around the room to sit right in front of their laptop and be as effective as they have in the past. And then 44% of students are saying that they're not satisfied with the audio or video quality from remote sessions, right? Our children today have grown up in a world where video is part of their lives, where a lot of us adults have always ran away from the camera, they run to the camera, and they are not satisfied with what we're giving them today. So how can Jabra help you with these challenges? Number one, our Panicast camera is 180-degree view on the camera. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But it gives you the ability to move freely about the room. It gives you a full view of the room, and it enables the teachers to connect in a different way with students instead of just sitting in front of their laptop. So as the teacher may be in front of the classroom, they can use all of the different props that they may be typically using. They can share whiteboards, and they can teach in the way that they've always teach because they don't have to sit stationary. So where are some of the ways teachers can do this, right? So, or educational facilities can do this, right? Distance learning is one key area. This is more prevalent in higher education. Higher educators are trying to find ways to reach out to more and more students to come to their university without having to be there. This puts a lot of demands on the technology in their environment. And the Panicast camera does a great job of sitting in front of a classroom and either casting out towards the classroom for a teacher that's teaching them remotely, and I'll have some images on this in a little bit, or face it towards the teacher so those children at home are seeing that teacher or professor in their environment. It allows you to collaborate from anywhere. This solution is extremely portable and remote. Here's the camera mounted on a table stand. As you can see, the device is very small. This can easily be mounted on a rolling cart in front of a classroom. It can be set on a desk. It can be packed away and put in your backpack and brought home, right? So very, very easy for the technology department at the universities to implement this and be as flexible as possible as where it could be. Obviously, with all the great applications we're using today, it enables these professors to record sessions, to record reminders, to record different things that they can push out to their classroom. And again, being in that setting really makes that video more impactful for the students. It enables an in-classroom connection, and it empowers students to a level that's immeasurable. We've heard a lot from new customers over the last 4 to 6 months that they just cannot believe how much more effective and how much more satisfied their teachers and students are when leveraging our solutions along with whatever cloud-based video platform they're using. With that, here's a bunch of the popular cloud-based platforms that are out there. Our devices are plug and play. So depending on which platform you're using, all you have to do is go into the settings of that system, choose the Panicast camera, choose the speakerphone, and that should remember it going forward. If you're somebody that needs to bounce between different devices as well, very easily managed within the application. And we've certainly got our own application where you can manage the settings in it too, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Important to note, we are certified for Microsoft Teams, and we are also Zoom certified. We work equally as well with all of these other ones up there. They typically don't have that rubber stamp that says you are certified. And if they did, we will go get it. So here's the star of the show. If you haven't seen the Panicast camera, again, I'll hold it up here. It's a very small device. There's 3 cameras in it, so there's no distortion that happens. We are stitching the 3 images together so that, and as long as you're outside of 18 inches away from the camera, you cannot see that stitching. It's a full 180-degree view. So if it's in front of the classroom, as I mentioned earlier, and I'll show you some of those images, you're getting the full view that you're normally seeing in front of you. We do have intelligent zoom on the camera. There are no moving parts within it. So intelligent zoom is done by centering in and recognizing a face. Detecting a face. It doesn't recognize it. So we've got software built in there that tells the camera there's a face in the room, there's 2 faces in the room, there's 3 faces in the room, and our intelligent zoom feature will automatically center those folks within there. We've got Vivid HDR built into the camera. Vivid HDR is very important in areas where there's lots of glass, lots of light, like a classroom, like a lot more of the modern workplaces we're seeing today in the marketplace. Vivid HDR dulls the bright parts of the room and brightens up the dull parts of the room. So you have a much more natural look across the room. And as I just mentioned, in a lot of the spaces we're in today, light control is very important for the people on the other end. As far as audio goes, our Speak series of speakerphones, the 410, 510, 710, and 750, pair very well with the camera in these solutions. And again, very portable. It can either be plugged in via USB or connected via Bluetooth. And the 710 and 750s can actually be paired together. So 2 710s or 2 750s for a slightly larger room to cover that audio much better. We've recently released Whiteboard Capture. It's an additional application that you need to download. So if I had whiteboards behind me, up to 3 of them, I can pre-configure where the corners of those whiteboards are, and you can share them within the cloud-based applications. So if you're a teacher that likes to write things on a whiteboard or a chalkboard, that image is going to be up front and center for the folks on the other end, and they're able to view it, versus if I was writing back here and you were just looking through the camera lens, you're not going to be able to see it that well. So great technology that's come forth. And then people detection. So we've got AI, if you're using AI sensors, intelligent software platforms, our camera does very well capturing images to be used by those applications. All of this can be managed using Jabra Direct and Express. Direct is a desktop application. Express is something used more by IT departments, like all yourselves that are out there trying to help manage your customers. You can push configurations out to multiple devices via these apps. Here's just a typical setup for a room. Very simple devices, plug and play. As I said, we've got a speak here, we've got the camera here. We've also have a Jabra branded hub. It's a convenience product, it's not necessary, but depending on how many devices you have in the room, you may need some extra ports to do that, and we'd be delighted to work with you to figure out what your needs are for each situation. So here, kind of the star of the show. So here I am sitting in a classroom. I've got this camera mounted on a table stand with a laptop and a speak in front of it. You can see that if I'm a teacher that likes to move about the room, I'm going to be able to freely move from one side to the other. If I had configured the whiteboards and different things, I can do that. And then you can see there's a smart board, albeit kind of an old one in this particular school. I would be able to share the content that's on there, and the students would be able to see me in the classroom as well. Now we're flipping it around. Here's the Panicast looking at the classroom. So in a situation where the teacher has to be remote, but the children are in the room, or they might be a specialist teaching multiple classes across the university or K through 12 institution, I'm going to be able to see all the students in that room, and it's going to make me feel more comfortable delivering my message. And then here's kind of a hybrid view that we've got. So I've moved the card up into the corner of the room. Now we can see the teacher and the students. So in a situation where some of the students are in the class, some of them are at home, we can, give them that view. And since this is such a portable solution, each teacher or professor can kind of use the devices they want, and it doesn't put huge demands on you as a channel partner, and it doesn't put huge demands on their IT department, because kind of once they're trained on how to set it up and move it around, you're never going to have to do it again. So in summary, talk, be heard, move freely, long-term wearing comfort, reliability, right? You can, just like a pair of jeans, right? You can be as comfortable as possible delivering your message, and it connects seamlessly. That was a quick overview of kind of the stars of the show, our Panicast camera and our Speak series, how they play in the education environment. As we get into return to office, many parts of the world are returning to the office and maybe have to pull back on that. There's many spaces out there that were never equipped for video. This camera was originally designed for the huddle space. Again, same as the classroom, a camera, a speak, and a monitor, and you're ready to go. Bring your own meeting, bring your own device, and you're going. So instead of 50 people packing into a large conference room, we're probably gonna have to spread people out across multiple conference rooms. And we don't want that high cost of outfitting every single room with a codec-based video system. The Panicast and Speak solution works really well. As you see, we've outfitted north of 10,000 virtual classrooms just over the last couple months. It's probably bordering on 30,000 at this point. We encourage you to take a look at it and come back to us with any questions. Again, thank you so much for allowing us to be part of this event. We look forward to working with you in the future. Have a wonderful day.